Hey, Outlaw Nation fans, are you a lover of sweet, sweet revenge films with a lot of action, an unusual protagonist, and some badass fight scenes? Well, maybe we've got the movie just for you. Hey, Outlaw Nation fans, it's the Outlaw John Rocha back with another spoiler review, kind of mild spoiler review for the new film Nobody that's out now, starring Bob Odenkirk. That's right, I didn't stumble. Comedy genius Bob Odenkirk, who, to be fair to the gentleman, has been making his bones over the last few years on the dramatic side of things, but you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody who'd believe he could be the next action star, and I'll be damned if he doesn't get it done in this movie. This movie is absolutely phenomenal. I totally loved it. Had a great time. It's a sweet 90 minutes in and out. You get attached to the protagonist really early, and it's great that they cast Bob Odenkirk in that. He looks like an everyman. He's a middle-aged guy. He's in what looks to be like a loveless marriage. He's got a couple of kids. His son doesn't respect him. His daughter loves him, but there's more beneath the surface. And as the film goes along, you really get a taste of what this guy is capable of and find out about his past. Now, before we go any further, I want to give some love to the people involved behind the scenes in making this happen and on screen. Ilya Naishuller is the director. He, of course, did Hardcore Henry. I don't know if any of you guys saw that one. That one was a pretty incredible film with Charlton Copley, told pretty much from a first-person point of view. It was like a first-person video game turned into a feature film. I saw this one. I know it was divisive. Some people got sick while they were watching it. Some people didn't like it. Some people enjoyed it like me because, you know, if it's a revenge film, you have to work really, really hard for me not to like it. Also, joining the cast in this, which I love, is seeing Connie Nielsen again in anything is always a joy. Christopher Lloyd, that's right, Doc Brown, coming in here as Bob Odenkirk's dad in the movie. Michael Ironside is in this thing. For those of you who've enjoyed Michael Ironside, I'm watching him right now in the second season of The Alienist, and first season of The Alienist. Really enjoying him there. Colin Salmon is in this thing too. For those of you who are Krypton fans, you know him. And the RZA, that's right, the RZA is in the cast as well. So Bob Odenkirk is playing this gentleman named Hutch Mansell, and as I said, living this kind of loveless marriage, possibly no respect with his son. His daughter loves him, but even at work, his father-in-law, who is Becca's dad, that's who Michael Ironside is playing, has no respect for him. Becca's brother Charlie, which is played by Billy McClellan, also has no respect for him. And you find out that he's a veteran who actually saw some service. And that's another thing. You find out Hutch actually served in the war, but he downplays it when he's asked about it. When his kid wants to interview him for a school project, he kind of downplays what he does. And then we find out later exactly why he downplays what he does. So the initiating incident of this film is when these two robbers break in to the Mansell's house. That's Hutch's house. And they take some money, take some valuables, and Hutch's kid, his teenage boy, jumps on one of the attackers, almost subdues the attacker, but Hutch makes him let go. The kid gets punched in the face, and the two attackers get away. The two home invaders get away. This causes him to lose even more respect with his son and a little bit more respect with his wife. In fact, his next door neighbor chimes in and says, "Oh, I wish it would have been me. I'd have done something." Even the policeman who's taken the report says, "Well, if it had been my family, well, anyway, you did the right thing." So already we're getting this groundwork laid that he is a guy that's kind of like, living his life. He's not that strong. He's a bit of a coward of the county, if you remember that old Kenny Rogers song. But this incites something inside of him, this idea of wanting to reclaim his life, wanting to fight back. And when his daughter's kitty bracelet is missing, that is the thing that finally sets him off and begins this whole journey to the end of the movie where he goes and finds the people who invaded his house. He realizes why they invaded his house, which is actually a very touching moment. But just when we're about to wrap that up, he's on a bus heading back from that place where he found the two invaders living. These five guys crash with their SUV next to the bus that he's on. They're drunk driving. They get into the bus and they absolutely intimidate everybody. And it looks like they might even assault this young woman who is there. And that just starts the whole process for him where he couldn't beat up the house invaders. Now he gets a chance to really unleash his rage. And it's such a well done action sequence and fight scene. It is not what you think, what you see, one guy just completely destroying all 5 of them. It actually is way more realistic. Remember, this is a guy in his middle age, in his 50s, who is fighting, and he hasn't done it in quite some time. So it takes a while for him to get done what he needs to get done. But unfortunately for him, one of the people that he subdues, one of the guys whose throat he shatters, is the younger brother of the Russian drug lord. That's Yulian Kuznetsov, and is played by Aleksey Serebryakov, who some of you may remember as James Norton's dad in the great series McMafia. He's protecting this kind of precious cargo for the Russian mob there. And as I said, it sets off this massive chain of events. And we start to find out what Bob Odenkirk, what Hutch Mansell has been hiding all this time, as he goes into full-on protect the family mode and protect himself mode. And we get some great surprises from Christopher Lloyd, and even greater surprise from RZA, who is essentially his brother, because later on, Christopher Lloyd, he calls Christopher Lloyd his pops. So essentially, they are brothers in this situation, and there's so much gets involved in it. It leads to 2 incredible action sequences and one final battle sequence that'll blow the doors off your brain. It's a lot of fun. Honestly, look, a lot of us are struggling. A lot of us are stressed out about what's going on in the world today, what's going on in our lives, COVID shutdowns, what have you. Movies offer a release, maybe a little bit of a revenge release, a little bit of fighting back, reclaiming your lives. How many of us want to do that in our daily lives? And these movies offer that kind of release, offer a revenge against foes that would seem insurmountable. And certainly when you're watching someone like Bob Odenkirk and every man like Bob Odenkirk do it, you are even more satisfied by the end of the movie. And I do want to give some love here. Bob Odenkirk tweeted this out. There's a article in GQ that he did with Daniel Bernhardt. Daniel Bernhardt is the one who choreographed the fight scenes for Atomic Blonde. Remember that fight scene on the staircase, which is maybe one of the greatest fight scenes ever. And he also did the fight scenes for Barry, another unassuming, skinnier comedy guy like Bill Hader, having some awesome fight sequences himself as the assassin in Barry. So good stuff there. Certainly did a lot of training. Apparently for 2 years he'd been training to play this role. He's in his 50s, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you something else. Before you go and dismissing Bob Odenkirk, Keanu Reeves is in his 50s, and you certainly have no problem watching him in those John Wick movies. And speaking of John Wick, this thing is written by Derek Kolstad, who has written the first 3 John Wick movies, is working on the next 2 John Wick movies. So I think you're in great hands. This is one you should definitely spend some money on if you're going to rent it, or if you get a chance to go to the theaters to see it, definitely do it. You'll be in and out in 90 minutes, minus the trailers, obviously, and have a good time with it. So there you go. That's my review. Absolutely give it 4 out of 5 cowboy hats. A fantastic film. Nobody, from director Ilya Naishuller and starring Bob Odenkirk. Go see this thing. Have some fun in the theaters, or sit back and relax and enjoy. This is a great Saturday afternoon movie, to be honest with you. So go and have some fun with that. Pop open a drink, have some food, and enjoy yourself. All right, this has been the Outlaw John Rocha. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment down below if you got a chance to watch this movie. Let me know what you thought about the movie and what you think about the review. And we'll talk to you next time on another brand new review here on the Outlaw Nation. Take care.